What's up, guys? Welcome back to another video. In this video, I'm going to be counting down the top 10 new coasters coming to the US in 2024. So let's get right into the video. Before I get into the countdown, I just want to highlight some of the rides that aren't going to be in the countdown. There'll be 2 coasters coming to Peppa Pig Land in 2024, but these are kiddie coasters, so I don't really need to count them. Which includes All American Dry Looping, which I don't even know if it's going to be opening in 2024. It's been there for a while, and they haven't opened it yet. There'll be 2 coasters coming to Coda Land in 2024, but I don't even know if they're going to be opening in 2024 because the park isn't open yet. So they're probably not going to open till like 2025. And there is a water coaster coming to Six Flags over Georgia, but we don't know the name of it. It's a water coaster, and it doesn't really look that great, so I'm not including it. But yeah, it looks like there's going to be a pretty solid lineup of coasters coming to the U.S. in 2024. There are a lot of kiddie coasters, but I'm just excited to see how these are going to ride. I mean, they don't look like, Wild Masters. They look a lot better than most kiddie coasters. They look like themed coasters, and great attractions. And even there are a few high-intensity rides. And the funny thing is that 3 of them, almost all of the high-intensity rides coming to the U.S. in 2024 are in the Northeast region, in Pennsylvania, New Jersey, and Ohio, which is really funny. But let's get right into the countdown. Coming up at number 10 is Bobcat. There's no, particular reason why I'm putting this at number 10. I just feel like, all of the other rides are a little bit better. I'm just excited to see that Six Flags is working with the Gravity Group for a wooden family coaster. I think this is going to be a great coaster, and I think it's a great fit at Six Flags Great Escape. It looks like a great coaster, and I'm excited to go out and ride it once it's opened. Yeah, I'm just excited to ride it. So moving on to the next coaster. Okay, coming up at number 9 is Phoenix Rising. Obviously, this looks like a completely new ride. Of course, the only B&M family inverts are in China, so this is going to be completely different than any other coaster we have over in the U.S. Because it definitely looks different than Vekoma inverts and stuff like that, family coasters. So, of course, I have heard some people say, well, why do they need 2 inverts at Busch Gardens Tampa? But this is definitely going to be a lot different than Kumba, and it's definitely going to be a lot different, and it's going to be for the families, for children, and something that can be like a stepping stone from the kiddie rides up to the real thrill rides. And I think it's going to be themed pretty well, just from the name Phoenix Rising. That's going to be a well-themed ride when it's called Phoenix Rising. I'm just excited to see how this ride is and eventually get out and ride it, but probably not this year, but in the future ride it. Moving on to number 8. Coming up at number 8 is Penguin Trek, another coaster in the SeaWorld train, and another coaster in Florida. Of course, this is going to SeaWorld Orlando. It looks like a completely different type of ride. Obviously, the SeaWorld train really loves B&M. Of course, as we've seen in the last few years, they've gotten a lot of coasters, and especially SeaWorld Orlando. Of course, they just got Pipeline. They love to work with B&M, and this is completely different than any other B&M. Usually, B&Ms are big airtime focused, not ejector airtime, but floater airtime focused rides. So this is going to be completely different, and one of the big things for me is it's 2 seats in each row, which I believe B&M, this is only they're going to have 4, and once 2025, 5 coasters with 2 across seating. When before 2019 they didn't have any coasters with 2 across seating. So that's a different thing, and this just looks like a unique ride. Obviously, I don't know if it's better than something like Big Bear Mountain. Obviously, I haven't ridden either of them, but it definitely looks like it's going to be a great ride. Definitely a different ride, as the same as Phoenix Rising, but I love to see B&M experimenting with different ride types. So moving on to number 7. Coming up at number 7 is Snoopy's Soapbox Racers, coming to Kings Island. So I am kind of disappointed how many Vekoma family boomerangs are being built this year. Obviously, 2 or 3 in the United States alone. But you know, it looks like a great ride. Of course, I haven't been on any of these family boomerangs. I'm probably not going to get to Kings Island. I'm sure I'm not going to get to Kings Island this year. But I'm excited to ride this in the future whenever I get to Kings Island. Of course, it just looks like any other Vekoma family boomerang. These rides look pretty good, family rides. Of course, lately Vekoma has gotten a lot better, and this is the first new gen Vekoma coaster coming to Cedar Fair, so it's nice to see they're working with Vekoma again. And you know, hopefully that means they're going to be working with other manufacturers, of course, with this merger with Six Flags. Hopefully that widens the amount of manufacturers they'll work with. But now moving on to number 6. Okay, coming up at number 6 is Good Gravy. Of course, this is another Vekoma family boomerang coaster coming to Holiday World. It looks like, I've heard a lot of people saying, oh, I don't like the name, but honestly, I don't really mind the name. I think it's actually a cool name, Good Gravy, Good Gravy. I mean, like I said earlier, I am disappointed how many Vekoma family boomerangs are coming to the U.S., but you know, it's obviously something different, and I love to see it. Just hopefully they stop at a few and they don't go, you know, in the U.S. parks don't add like a ton, but you know, we can't control that. But I've heard that this looks like a better layout than Snoopy Soapbox Racers, and yeah, it looks like a good ride. Good Gravy, that is. So yeah, I'm excited to see what this ride is like, and of course as well, Snoopy's Soapbox Racers. These looks like good rides for the family, good overall rides. Moving on to number 5. Moving on to number 5 is Twin Mill Racers at Arizona's Mattel World Adventure Park. This looks like a great ride, of course. It looks a lot like Storm Chaser, of course. They added a few inversions in just to spice it up. And these Hyper GTX models look pretty good. I'd be excited to eventually get out and ride this. Of course, also ride Storm Chaser at Kentucky Kingdom. But of course, this looks like a great ride, a great model. These Hyper GTX and Twin Mill Racers looks like probably it'll be better than Storm Chaser, and it looks like it'll have some good airtime, and this would be a great ride, honestly, to come to Knoebels. But I'm just excited to see how this ride turns out. And yeah, moving on to number 4. Number 4 is Fire in the Hole at Missouri's Silver Dollar City. This looks like, of course, they closed down the original Fire in the Hole this year, and now they're bringing it back. It looks like a new type of ride for RMC. Obviously, RMC has done nothing like this before, and it's a new train. I believe this is RMC's first indoor coaster. Yeah, I'm pretty sure this is. And it just looks like RMC is expanding their ride model catalog. So yeah, this looks like a unique ride for RMC, and it looks like it's going to be a great themed attraction. Fire in the Hole, of course, great ride. Obviously, I haven't ridden it, but it just looks like a great ride. And I'm excited to see how this turns out as for all these new for 2024 coasters. But yeah, Fire in the Hole looks like a great attraction. That's why I put it at number 4. Moving on to number 3. Number 3 is Iron Menace at Dorney Park. Of course, this is the closest coaster to me opening in 2024. So I'm excited to get on this. I will be getting on this probably. It looks like a great new, thankfully, finally, Dorney Park is getting a new coaster. It's been too long. Obviously, I haven't been there a lot of times, so, you know, I haven't been like, oh, I need something else, but I'm excited to see this. A B&M Dive is a great coaster for them, but the only thing is, you know, now the other parks in the area, like Hershey Park and Great Adventure, a lot of people were saying, yeah, they'd be the first to get it, but no. So now really, in terms of competition, I don't think they're gonna get a B&M Dive, and if they do, it'll be a long time down the road. So it really just, I mean, it's good and bad, you know. Good, like, now these parks aren't gonna get a B&M Dive, but it could be good, you know, they could get a better coaster. But I'm just excited to see how Iron Menace turns out at Dorney Park. It looks like a great ride. The first B&M Dive coaster coming to the Northeast. It looks like a great ride, and I'm excited to get out onto Iron Menace. Moving on to number 2. Number 2 is Flash Vertical Velocity coming to Six Flags Great Adventure. Like I said, of course, people were predicting that in 2024, Great Adventure would get either a B&M Dive, a B&M Giga. There's a lot of different predictions. Obviously, I would have liked those coasters, but I think Flash Vertical Velocity, which is a Vekoma Super Boomerang, which is another new Vekoma, one of 3 new Vekomas coming to the United States. At least 3, there might even be 4. But one of a few new Vekomas coming to the United States. It's been long enough for Vekoma to the United States. Of course, new Gen Vekoma looks really good. It looks like a great ride. Obviously, I would have preferred a different ride, but it looks like a great ride, even though I would have preferred a different ride. But, you know, I'm excited to get out on it. Flash Vertical Velocity looks like a great ride, and I'm excited to see how this ride turns out, which I will definitely be getting on in 2024. It looks like a great ride, and I'm so excited to see how this ride turns out. I'm only one of 2 Vekoma Super Boomerangs in the world. The other one is in China, so this is definitely something different for me. Obviously, you know, it's not really anything like the original Vekoma Boomerang, like Jolly Rancher and stuff like the park. So it looks like a great ride, and I'm excited to ride it. Moving on to number 1. Coming up at number 1 is the long-awaited Top Thrill 2. I'm just excited to see how this ride turns out. We've been waiting too long for this great ride to reopen. Obviously, it won't be as good as it used to be, but it still looks like it'll be a great ride with the Spike and LSM. And obviously, it doesn't have the best name, Top Thrill 2. I honestly prefer Good Gravy over Top Thrill 2, so maybe they'll have to change it to Good Gravy. In a few years down the line, they'll have to retheme Top Thrill 2 to Good Gravy. I'm just joking, but honestly, that would be a better name than Top Thrill 2. But I'm excited to see how people react to this ride, excited to see how this ride will turn out, and obviously, it looks like it's the best new ride opening in 2024. You know, of course, it's not a brand new ride, so it's not as much hype as some other rides, but obviously, we knew about this ride for, you know, a while. We knew what was going to happen, but obviously, I would have wished it had a more extended layout, but it still looks like a great ride overall. Almost as good as the original Top Thrill Dragster. I mean, it looked like it was a great ride, so I'm sure this ride will be good as well. But I hope you guys enjoyed this video, and I hope to see you in the next one. Goodbye.